Alright, let's do a React Challenge review. So we've had 4 qualifying scores today. Great start for everyone to week 6. And we just want to check a few answers on beginner. So we're going to check question 3 and 5 on beginner. And we're just having a look at this one here. Why was this not correct? Yeah, so I think you split up into 2 text areas. So it was probably looking for the placeholder and was trying to find the placeholder in this one based on how the test was written. I think that is probably what happened. So we can take that and just see whether your recommendation fixes it. But well done for finding the answer to your own problem. What's happened here? Okay. Platform's having a moment. Excuse me. Let's try again. Alright, question 3. So if we apply your suggestion, and it's absolutely fine then, yeah? So it was just that. Any reason why you got both fragments and divs?
Well, I put the fragments in because I thought that was why it wasn't working.
Ah, yeah, so you're just trying a few things to try and make it work. No worries. Yeah, so of course we could have got rid of the divs. Could have even got rid of that. And it would still work. So something like that, yeah, would be a nice solution. Any questions on the code we've written there? Any elegance things that would throw?
Okay,
See you, Simon. Yep.
Bye. 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 High five. Okay.
See you, Simon.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you. See you online.
Yeah, see you online.
Any elegance improvements there? Semicolon, right at the end. It's a return statement, so let's have a semicolon. So now, we should have no elegance issues. Alright, question 5. Display the total score. So where do we get our scores from? Scores, yeah. Scores is what? Object. It is not an object. It's an array. So it's a prop as well, yeah? So we're passing it in as the scores prop. So that's why we've got props.scores there. And then, well, we've got a couple of places we could do it. It's up to you whether you want to do it in line or we can calculate our total here. So I could say let total equals, what would I do? Scores. Oh, scores. Index 0. Why? Yeah, reduce them, right? Gideon passes intermediate and then it does some strange things on the beginner question. Scores dot so scores dot reduce, we can take each, well in fact we need an accumulator, right? So we can total, yeah, let's call it total. And then single score. Thank you for that vote of confidence, Gideon. And how do we sum up the scores? Yeah, something like that, right? Total plus score. It'll be absolutely fine. That's it. And then where does the score go? Or the total go? Inside the div. Do we need any words with it? Yes. The total score is... So this is the thing that used to freeze the platform, isn't it? When we did stuff like that. But hopefully it will be fine now. The total score is... What? Total. Yeah. And that's it, right? All good. It's fairly short, so we could even do away with those as well. And just return the div directly. If you do that, make sure you don't forget your semicolon. Semicolon there as well for your elegance. Yeah, everyone happy with that? Or any questions? Make sense? So in JavaScript, then reduce is the way to go if you want to work out the sum or the total of things, yeah? Or a traditional loop, I guess, a for loop or something, yeah. Alright, let's move on to intermediate. I'll let you do a bit more of the work on intermediate. Alright. Press the button. So, who can start me off? What sort of things do we need? How are we going to structure it? We want a constructor, so we're going to stick with a class-based component for now, is that alright? Well, I mean, Joshua was the first one to suggest it, so let's just do a class-based component. Constructor, then what? Super. Invoked, yeah. Then what? What do we need to put in the state initially? So this dot state takes what? An object, nice. And inside of it we have what changes in our application? Message, yep. So not the button. The button stays the same. It always says press me, but the message. So this dot state message. It's an object, so a key, and the value is button not pressed yet, I think. Okay. Next. Semicolon, says someone. And then have a render method. Have a return statement. Might as well put a fragment, because most of them are going to need it. What goes inside? We definitely need a label, yeah. Any other elements?
Yeah.
A button and a label, yeah. So we can create a button. We can, oh, I know why it's not working. I haven't closed it. We can have a button. And we can have a label. The button says press me. Any punctuation? Exclamation mark. The label says message. Inside curly braces. Okay. Next. Thank you. Yeah, this dot state dot message. What's next? Yep, down here is a click event. So we need an on click. On click where? On the label? On the button? Button. Yeah. What happens when we click? Changes the message. So how do I write it? Yeah. What's it? Callback function. Okay. Yeah. This dot state dot message. This dot set state. Set the state to message. Nope. Yeah, so we're going to change it to button already pressed. So we need to create an object inside of our this.setState. Yeah, this.setState always takes a message. The key of the thing that we want to change is message, and the value is some text, button already pressed. Okay, then anything else, or are we good? I think we're good. Any elegant stuff? Where? Yeah, semicolon, but where? 14 after the render? Definitely after the return. Did someone say 19? We haven't got 19. Is that it? Should we try it? Okay, any elegance? Oh, missing space before opening brace. That was probably my fault in the constructor. Perfect. Any questions on what we've done there? Is that going on the social media later?
Oh, no. It's true.
I was only joking.
It's a big question. It's so simple, but I don't understand it.
We could of course rewrite it as a function if you want, but maybe we'll just do that with some later ones, yeah? We'll leave that as a class. Should we move on? Want to throw any spanners in the works and like what ifs? No? Okay. Walkman. A few people had trouble with this one, right? The composing components questions. Just some different design principles that you might not have seen. So, they are the instructions. Create a Walkman-like mechanism. Number 1, check which side is active. Number 2, check the content of the active side, and then toggle the active side. We need that sort of behavior built in. So initially, it says that we expect side A to exist, so that needs to be displayed, and the text inside A should be the Spice Girls, and then side B should be set to false. So in other words, side B is hidden, right? If we're on one side, we can't be playing both sides simultaneously. Then when we click a button, the sides switch. So now side A is hidden and side B is visible, and side B should display the Backstreet Boys. It's Ricardo's taste in music, obviously, from the 90s. Now, how would you start this? Oh, yeah, we've got a class-based component again. All right. I'm going to put the text in here before I forget. So side A was the Spice Girls, and side B was the Backstreet Boys. Oof. STR. Yep. So you want a constructor again? I always just change them to functions because it's a pain. But super. And then you want to set some state, do you? A is being true as false. Yeah, can we just have one of them? Do we need both? Is side A true to begin with? And then that'll do for the constructor. Yeah, because if side A is true, then automatically side B is false and vice versa. Yeah, so I don't think we need to set both in the state. So let's just have a render. I'm sure we need a return. What we're returning? Probably a fragment. Inside the fragment we've probably got, someone said a button. And what else have we got?
It's like where the side A would be.
So maybe a bit of JavaScript code to determine whether we've got side A. I'll just write them for now, or side B, yeah? Something like that. So that's the rough structure. Now let's fill it out and actually make it work. Do you want to do the button first? So what happens when we click on the button? Toggle. So how do we implement a toggle? Does it need any text, by the way? It doesn't read, does it? So it's just, I can write whatever I want. So change sides. A sides? No, B sides. Sides. Okay. How do we implement a toggle? We can't just write toggle. We've got an on-click event in this case. It's such a common behaviour though. You think we'd have an on toggle, but obviously not. Set toggle. Maybe there's a hook with that. There will be soon. So on click, we have something like, we want to set the state again, I assume. What do we want to set the state of? Is side A, yeah, that's the only thing we've got in the state, so I guess we're going to change that. And what do we want to set it to? False. Would that be a toggle if we just wrote false there? Not false. Yeah, negate the word, right? So not false would always be true and false would always be false. So we need to make sure that we have that toggle behavior. And how do we do that? Well, we take the current state, which is just is side A. It's not is side A actually, is it? What is it? This dot state dot is side A in a class-based component, and we use the not operator on that. So if this dot state dot is side A is true, we will set it to false, and vice versa. Let's tidy it up a little bit. Where can I drop it down? Probably there makes sense. And then we've got the change sides, and then we end the button. Something like that. It's good enough. Okay, so that should toggle the is side A. Then how can we use the state of that to display either side A or side B? Yeah, let's go for a ternary, right? I think we're okay with ternaries now. So my condition can be is side A. If is side A is true, what do I want to display? Side A. Otherwise, side B. Do I write it like that, or have I got some problem still?
Then they have to be invoked.
They're functions, are they?
Yeah, look at them.
I'm looking at them. They don't look like functions to me.
Really? They look like.
Well, okay, yeah, they are functional somethings. If it was like that, I'd say, yeah, that's a function. That's an arrow function.
Well, you don't have to put the word return, right? Because it's already in a return function.
What's the difference between those two now? Sorry, is it not big enough? One's green and one's white. Why? Yeah, one's a component. One's capitalized. It's a component. We are composing components in this question. So we've got some separate logic, or just a separate component that we want to take out of the main function. So therefore we don't invoke them, we write them as a component. I never know whether to put a space there or not. I think that's the accepted way.
Oh, I see. Just okay. Right, yes, sure. That.
So we're rendering the whole component, yeah?
So those two at the bottom are just functional components.
They are functional components.
Oops. Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense for other people? Yeah. How about down the other end, guys? So, can you see that these are just functional components? And therefore we can render them inside a different component using that line there. And it's a conditional render based on the state of side A. So if side A is true, which it is initially, then side B component will get rendered and stuck in there. Otherwise, side B gets rendered. Yeah. Let's test that. See if we made any mistakes. I think there's a few elegant things again. Oh, still red. Okay, so we've made some mistakes. Set state is not defined. Yeah, good point. What is it? We're in a class, so it's this dot set state. Told you I always miss off the this when I'm in class-based component. Still not right.
Do you have to bind it?
Whoa, you were very loud there, Cam. But yeah, do you have to bind it? You said. So the on-click event, we don't need to bind it. What was the message? Is side A is not defined. Is side A
Binding, like isn't that not a thing?
this dot state dot? No, you can still use bind, but it's probably not the preferred way to do it in React anymore. I think I can say that. What line is it complaining about then? 14.6. So here. Oh yeah. It's not is side A, it's this dot state dot is side A, alright? This is why I don't like class-based components. Still not right. What have I missed off this time? Probably typed the Backstreet Boys wrong. Oh, it's Backspace Street Boys. Who knew? I could sing it, but it wouldn't make it right. I've still got to put the space in there, so I'll save you that misery. Good, so now we've got the correct answer, and then I've just got to tidy up. So spaces and semicolons and the like. And then as this was the most difficult one, I'll leave it on the screen a bit longer and we'll refactor it to a functional one, because it's a lot easier then, I think. Spaces, that one. Anywhere else? Yeah, constructor. No, I think we're good. Cool. Can I refactor? Anyone want to help me? Oh, spell function ground would be a good start. Okay, we can get rid of all of that. And instead we can have a const is side A, comma set side A equals our use state. Initially is true.
You have to write two states. Line 1.
Nope. No, the platform's already done that for you, which is a bit confusing, but if you want to be doubly sure, we can just do react.useState. But I know the platform imports it for us. Good point though, we would usually have to do that. I'm not going to touch the bottom two components. We've still got a button on click, without a doubt, but this time we don't call this .set state. What do we call instead? Set side A, nice Gideon. And what do we set side A to? Not side A. Not is side A, sorry. Close brackets. Good, so that's a lot shorter already. Change sides, text can stay there. And then our ternary is almost the same, but we don't need the this dot state again. Am I done? Yeah. Elegance things. That's a bit nicer, right? Sexy, as someone would say. I'm not going to answer that question on YouTube. Right. All good? Got the pictures if you need it? Cool. Oh no, you should have taken a screenshot instead on your Mac, right? That would be even better. But you missed that one now. We can do it again. Clear input with button. Do we want to do this one? Yeah? Let's go function straight away this time. Function. Parentheses. Return. Semicolon. Stick something in there and we're good to go, I think, right? What do we need? What two elements do I need? Two elements, anyone? Button and a label? Nope, button definitely. Button and an input, yeah? Find the input, type text, find the button. So let's put those in so that we can find them. So firstly an input, type equals text. And let's close off that. And then we need a button. And let's close off that. The button should be equal to reset. And get input.props.value to equal Charlotte. So what does that bit mean? Get input.props.value. Does that mean I have props.value or something in there? No, definitely not, right? That's not what it means. In this case, it means we have a property or an attribute called value, and that is equal to, well, if we hard coded it, it would be Charlotte, but we probably don't want to hard code it, do we? Because we want to reset it, so we want to change it in our application. We want to reset it just to be a blank empty string, yeah? So value, I could put as name for now, is that alright? Just as a variable. Okay, so we've worked out we need a variable in the state. Let's create it. Yep, so I got name. I can have a set name. Make sure it's camel case. Put that equal to use state. And initially the value should be Charlotte, yep. How do I change that value in the state? Via a click event, yeah, we're simulating a click event here. So when they click the button, we can trigger an on-click event. How do I write this next bit? Curly braces, callback, set name to empty string. I think that's probably it, isn't it? We don't need to do anymore. Yeah? Good, that was a nice short one. That would have been massively longer with a class-based component. Let me just tidy up my spaces. Semicolons. Okay. Time to get that screenshot. Done it? Okay. Any questions on that one? So we can see where all of the reasoning come from, yeah, in the test here. We can see how the two match up, or are we still a bit confused? The most confusing bit to me is the get input.props. Yeah, we're not talking about any props. No props go into the input component. This is just slightly confusing testing syntax for attributes. Yeah, the attributes of the input, the value attribute of the input should be equal to Charlotte. The value attribute of the input is initially equal to Charlotte because that's what name is. Then afterwards it gets set to an empty string. So name gets updated to an empty string and this value changes down there to an empty string. Yeah. Okay. Anyone want to prepare for their presentation and come and answer a question? No? Oh, Jonathan's gone. He was the first one, right? The volunteer. Okay, how are we going to do this one?
Wait, that didn't count as the workshop. What?
No, it doesn't count as the workshop. It's just prep for the workshop. What time is it? 20 past 4. I want to give you at least half an hour to either wrap it up or do whatever you need to do. So, want me to do this one, the last one? Try for both. Alright. So is stateless component, what does that line of testing mean? Are we going to use a class-based component or a functional-based component? Functional has to be, yeah? So whenever you see that line of code in the test, we are looking for a functional component. So let's make sure we write a function. We need two things. We need an input and a label. I wish I'd copy and paste it now, but function, input, return, two things. One was an input, and one was a label, not that sort of input. And then we close it off. Okay. What do we need inside of these? One's type text. And where do we get the types text is from? Where does scenario.default text, where does that come from? No? From the props. Yeah, default text. Where else is there default text? Up there. So it's being sent in as a prop into the input component. So therefore let's make sure we give props as an input to our function. And I've forgotten exactly where we used it again, sorry. It's in the label. The label text says the typed text is colon, and it was going to be props dot default something or other. What was it? Default text. What's wrong with that? Curly braces around the props, yeah. Need an on change somewhere. Yeah. On the input. Yep. So as you said, we need a type equals text. And we need an input. Sorry, not an input, a on change. Thank you. What goes in the on change? Well, we haven't really set it up yet, have we? So we think it's going to be some sort of stateful variable, yeah? What should we call it? Set text, so you want text. Yeah. What's that equal to? Our functional hook for managing state, or one of them, use state. We've also got what other hook we haven't spoke about yet for managing state? Does anyone know? Use effects not for state, no. Use reducer we can use to manage state as well. More complex ways of managing state. Let's leave that. And so on change we want to set the text, yeah? Set the text to what? Yes, you're simulating a change event here. You've got a target and a value. So you want to just change it to whatever they have inputted in here. So we do e dot target dot value. Will that work? We need to pass the e in here. Nice. Might drop that down, I think. What was the initial value? Props.default text. So I've set that wrong, in fact. What do I need to change now? Is the type text equal to props.default text? Down here? It's just text, yeah. And initially it will be equal to props.default text because that's the initial value of the state variable text. However, after we trigger the onChange event, it will change to whatever has been typed in the input. What am I missing? Anything? Okay, we'll give it a shot. All good. Nice one. We have 4 minutes to do the last one. Really should have copied and pasted. Does this have to be... Oh, this has to be a class-based component as well. Look, so if you've got that, wrapper.state has to be a class-based component. Okay. So what do we need? We need a constructor. This is when all the spare mistakes come out. Constructor. We need to call super to get access to the parent react.component. We need to initialize the state. What do we need in the state? We need A, we need B, we need total. Yeah, A, B, and total. And we want to output the total is, and then the actual total. So that's the constructor. We need to render. We need to return. We, I think, just need one thing. So we do this. No, what did I just copy? The total is not 9, but this dot state dot total, yeah? So that's what we're setting up. How do we get the correct total? Props.c, a plus b plus props.c could work. Pass the props in. How about A and B? Where are they coming from? Yeah, so we've got to define them outside of the state, yeah, before we get to declaring the state. So const 7 and 4, did you say? So A is 7, const B is equal to 4. And then we can do A equals A, that's what that's shorthand for. Yeah, that's doing that. So it's doing that. So we can just write A, comma B, comma total equals A plus B plus prop C. Oops, that meant to be a semicolon. Turning that. Have I missed anything? We have 1 minute to decide. Test it. Oh, we're not going for like all or nothing on the last question. This is, we have 1 life left. This is. Shazway is confident. Oh, good man. Yeah, should be fine. You know, do or die. Missing space before the opening brace. I seem to do that a lot. Don't know why. And then it's perfect. Questions on that one? Why did we not just write A is 4, B is 7, and total equals A plus B plus props C, and not have these here?
That can still work, doesn't it?
Does that work?
I just don't know anymore.
Oh dear, no. So, A is not defined. You see, we've got a syntax error.
Right, go back, let's see. What did you write? Oh, because it's in the total.
So what is it?
It doesn't like that.
Is it this dot state dot A? Would that then work?
Maybe this dot A.
This dot A? Ooh.
I mean, it is an object.
This dot B?
Does that work?
No.
Forget about it.
I'm just teasing with you, really.
Does that work?
So, in other words, we can't use A and B in any form here. Why? Well, they haven't actually been defined yet. We're setting them here, and this is just one command. Yeah, it's one statement. So we can't reference A in the same statement as which we're trying to give it a value. It just doesn't work, which is why we had to do it before. Assign it into a variable. Was it? I've put the wrong way around now, haven't I? But 7, I think, was A, and const B equals 4. And then we can just reference them. A equals A, B equals B, and total equals A plus B plus props C. We can shorten that as we did before, and we're back to what we had. Ta-da! This is my magic trick for the day, and let's leave it there, shall we? Cheers, guys. That took a long time again. Alright, if anyone needs me before we go to the...
Listen, I need you. No, I need you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you take me first.
2 hours of what?
I don't know.
Does anyone want the link to that Edabit thing? Shall I send that? Why not? There's quite a few of them. Yeah. An idea about what?
So, about how to... Huh? When you finish. Oh, okay, then you go first. I think this might take a while, so you go first.
No, mine is gonna take a while.
Great.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm thinking instead of having the last name under links, it might work without it.
Having what in the links?
You know how we grouped the login and sign up?
Yeah.
Links? Wonder if we just didn't have it under links, everything on its own, and then we style it CSS. That might be a way.
Perhaps. But I'm very dubious.
Okay, great. Took me the whole day.
What took the whole day?
Done my whole
Oh, you gridded it.
grid system.
Yeah.
Whole day. Laying down some dirt.
Yay!
It's not even working yet, to be honest.
Alright. Okay, there's those two, and then maybe some interview-based ones as well. first then.
I bet.
Very good. Quite good.
Okay. So,
It's yours to get up issue, Sammy. It's yours to get up issue.
isn't it?
Progress. Let's get up then, yeah.
Yes, exactly. How does it issue better? No? Let me just change it. Like, because remember how we had home before where it's just stacked?
Yeah, stacked again.
So, it's like, we just put like that and then made it each component rather than the links. Do you get what I mean?
Because the problem is the links was making it side by side.
Oh, was it?
This is split links. Right, and that's what we're using to put them all in one row and space them out.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that's it. And then we'll probably try and fix it again.
Yeah, I think that's
It's the alignment.
last time.
So once you've decided on what the size of your icon. Okay. So the problem is on the
Okay, no. You never wake up. No.
So how about we render the login and the sign up? So
Yeah.
two things.
It's not very good.
No. He's in Jumanji.
So LAN is fine. The problem with login and it's on the sign up. So how
There are problems.
rather than calling it no sign up, we call it now in the login that's going to create
Why are we changing the name?
because we want to have a separate style based on whether it's there or whether it's there. In my login, so we just go to
I downloaded the form and then you get really carried away.
I know someone kind of put it up. Put it up.
Yes, just downloaded the form and create CSS form and then you just like find the form.
check that out and fix it.
Once I did,
It's scary
you
movie.
didn't get much time to it.
No.
I'm going to start with
I've seen maybe one or two.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, just
That's straight to the Yeah, I just this inside I had to read all this entire section to find the absolute and relative problems.
Now I know why you're just growing so high now.
It's horrible
private and I work here. Yeah, your office, you do it. The last one I had was about 4 years. Dude, when you work in office, you don't have my time.
Yeah, let's just do that and check it still works.
My teammates,
See ya.
see you guys.
You just want to last bit?
To that? No, I have to meet someone. I mean, it's very urgent. So, see you tomorrow.
So you guys
Lisa, are you?
you guys
Lisa,
gonna come on a Monday?
It's the last day, yeah? See you.
Free hugs going.
It's your last day today. No, I'll stay. I'll come for one at least. Yeah.
Still working? As soon as I finish with these guys, as soon as we get done.
Are you going?
Yeah, it's the last day today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have to miss
Well,
some.
Lisa, it's just half an hour.
It shouldn't last half an hour.
I think it's just some James. Anyway, what do I need to help you with? Who's this? Is this one I've got you?
This is like yeah. So I think like salmon.
Alright, this is part of the other.
I did all of this time, and one of my colleagues did the because in that moment I was like, what a fraud. So
Now you want to do it all.
now I want to put it in my CV that I did it.
I went to think about this great.
Okay, so should we?
Are you doing it as a group?
This way. Press. You want to come? Right hand explain us, no?
Exactly, until that point.
Oh, she was not how to do press.
Is this a team?
I thought you were thinking about the prep.
No.
Okay, sorry.
I was like, it's a team.
I think the only thing to do is just push to the local branch and then just fetch.
Sorry, I misunderstood what you said.
Okay, so. There you go.
Because has been updated
Yeah.
a few times since she's fetched it.
I mean, it's always worth checking, right? It's always worth checking. By fetching to the master. So you're currently on the master.
I think she made a full request Friday and he said,
Yeah, so there shouldn't be conflicts if you've done everything locally. So we obviously haven't done everything locally. So the first thing, when you come in the morning, or the first thing before you do a pull request, is, right, could you type for me git fetch upstream, and the same thing, fetch upstream, and then master, space master. Cool. Okay, so it's done all changes. Now we need to git merge upstream //
Slash.
slash, yeah. So we'll have to put it in that way. That's about fine. Yeah. Master. Okay.
You're starting to regret
Now you got great. It's quite a lot. We need to fix them here. That's why the pull request has conflict. Because
You know what I really fancy?
remember. You did something more.
That's fine.
I'm going
This one, so I think that's just next Axios being added to it. So Axios, so we want to accept both the changes in this case, which is specifically
to stay on.
if we can if it lets us add it, that means we fixed all the conflicts. This deleted, so someone has deleted by them. Who's them? It's like the aliens have got control of it. Deleted by them.
He didn't just like.
Very stupid. So deleted. I think it got deleted and then it just turned it back in once. Like it was committed.
I know.
That's that. We got one of those. That's all.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's all there is.
No, this.
No, I think maybe.
Oh, is that because you worked in the app.js?
It's because she put everything in there, so I just made out yeah. That's why it's different from yeah. And I just used the box.
Yes, that was the old one that you deleted, and then the one you added just looks like that. Okay, so that's fine. All the other commands are there, you can put them in when you need, so I think that's also fine.
Yeah, I think I definitely didn't delete the laptop, yes. I'm 100% sure.
You did it.
Still don't have objects.
Sure.
Really cool. So that's up to date now, and the conflicts are fixed. Now we want to move back onto your branch.
So,
I don't know.
you mean in the.
No, always here, always here.
Oh, I think we call it step.
Yep, you got it. Well, you got two. You got your GitHub
So we
step
should
and then
always
you
be
got
away from the other branch. We should
on your
always
main
be
branch, or the fixed branch. Yep. So get checkout step.
It.
Checkout. Step.
Yay!
Yes. And then do a git merge master to bring in the changes that we've just
So excited.
pulled.
So we leave it
You
here.
might get conflicts again. I hope not.
Maybe tomorrow morning. Or
Doesn't
not
look like you have.
tomorrow.
So
My
everything
flight's
now
at 1:30.
is up to date. You should have both your work and your master.
How long are you going for?
Definitely there for me.
Go back into work.
Just tune that project as well. Just to check that it's there.
That's important one.
Not being deleted yet. So that's the one
Yeah.
we just pulled. Okay, so everything looks good to me. So then you can do a git push to your. We don't push the master yet. Might as well back up your master first. So go back to your master. Git checkout master. Okay, and then just git push origin master. We've just done that. That's fine. Now go back to your step branch. Git checkout step. Awesome. Git push origin step. And then finally we can go to GitHub and check your pull request. And that's hopefully done on the step branch. That wasn't, was it? Pull request on Coderia though, it should be.
Oh yeah, because we have.
Two bits.
Function.
bonne chance tu vas apprendre le chinois. Ouais.
Wait, entrepreneur.
Non, tu vas apprendre le chinois.
Oh wait, yeah, I probably should know that. I just take it. Oh,
Allez, allez, je vais.
oh, I mean, I should tell Holland. I should not read. I want to. Only two. Je dois pratiquer avant que je.
Tu parles pas nous.
Je parle
Ah oui, c'est pas.
Maybe I trying to read myself when I was trying to do
Donc un mois pour apprendre. Andrea, et puis c'est là, joyeux Noël.
aussi joyeux Noël avec ta famille.
Merci.
Et je sais la phrase. Oh non, I forgot Happy New Year. Hein? Bonne année. Bonne année avec famille et les amis aussi.
Merci beaucoup.
Quantity hug.
I don't remember. No, but comme ça.
Everyone else needs to look.
Ok, bonne chance.
Well,
et à
they
bientôt.
have to at least put
Okay.
in all your work now. You updated the team out.
Merci.
They need to get.
See you tomorrow.
Give me feedback.
Well, this is just the latest version of the project, so everyone should have the latest version of it. Yeah. Otherwise, there'll be conflicts when you record.
Do you approve it?
Like to read the main things.
Alright,
Yeah.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
That colours
Okay, where you
I'm going to the library and then I'm going to the gym. Second? I know. Not the last day. She's coming back in February.
Yeah, but you're not going to see where it's short.
You know.
Upstream master.
Okay, don't drink too much.
No. The worst.
Don't lift too heavy weights. See you later.
Take it out. Get up.
So I came across another tutorial
Oh yeah.
which says how to do
The environment level stuff.
so I'm going to try that out.
Yeah. It's just I can't remember how to do it on that one. Just the front end only. But
Like, I didn't know that. I was the one that pushed it up.
yeah. The problem is it's always going to be there now, which is a bit
Yeah.
bit dodgy. But you can probably just
I'll
change the
change
key.
the key, yeah.
And then just put the fresh key in there, and then it's safe, right?
What I'll do, I'll test it out all the way it is right now. And then once it works, then I'll go back and just delete that
Yeah.
database and just do it.
Nice. And that's a universal thing, you know, that
Yeah.
environment, hidden environment folder.
Yeah.
And
But then I came across something else saying that you can actually still view them. Because in React, it all bundles up to a certain folder.
ooh,
So it's still in your public.
yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
It's not good, is it?
But then of course,
A little bit harder to find, I think. But static deployment, bundle it up. So yeah, the only way is to add it to your deployed app.
Yeah.
So you add it to their server.
yeah.
There, keep it safe, and then just delete the local environment variable and just share it between the team and try and get them to delete it as well. But yeah, it's not
Yes, but at
ideal.
the moment I'm going to just try to do it the way that I've seen it.
Yes.
Try that out. Once that's working.
And once it's deployed, you
Once
can
it's
make
deployed,
it more
yeah.
secure. Yeah. Hello. Screwed up, not again.
It says fatal. Upstream master.
Fatal.
It's not any of the screw ups, it's the fatal one. Is this just her? She's still seeing it.
No, I need to.
Oh, no, sorry.
Lisa. Yes. Come on.
Everyone's
Yes,
scared of
yes. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, but take it down the pub. At least then people can.
Do they have food at the pub?
They do.
Do they have apple pies?
They have fun.
Yeah, I want one of those. Need something sweet. Excuse me again, thank you very much. Are the toilets in this pub nice? What's the story of the toilet box? Should I use it now?
I'd use the secret ones down there. They're probably actually a bit better.
Okay, I'm gonna go use the secret toilet.
So,